Hello all, and welcome to Sunday Q&A. Today brought to you from the Shedbury because it's carnage in the house at the moment. Child's on her latest crazy project and there's stuff everywhere. So I've just come out in here for a break. Right, straight into it. We've done a lot recently on EVs, electric vehicles, and the ideas of electric trucks and self-driven trucks, and a little bit of feedback, a little bit of putting me straight as usual. You know, so what we got. TG Weed says, just some information, on the electricity. He said, in 2020, 40% was produced by green sources, which was more than coal and power plants combined. Good show. He said, also, it's inaccurate to think that a petrol engine gives 100% of energy. It's in fact 20 to 30% of the energy, as a lot of it goes on. It's wasting heat and other forms of energy. Electric engines are far more efficient, about 75%. Electric is the future once the infrastructure is in place. I agree with you. I mean, there is a problem at the moment with the infrastructure, in the fact that I heard a story, somebody who decided to drive from sort of Dunstable to Devon, and it took them 10 hours because they'd keep stopping and charging the car up. But it is coming, and that's good news. And the fact that we're getting the energy the right way is all good news. How long it will take to come to trucks, I don't know. But, if we can change all the cars over, well, that's going to help, isn't it, really? I have changed all of my gardening stuff over to electric, but that's basically because I'm sick to death of trying to get two-stroke engines to start and then just putting the thing a load of time and it won't start, and I'll press a button and it goes. So I'm a big fan of electric. I've always thought a good idea, well, why is someone, you got roof tiles, why has someone invented solar roof tiles? Rather than having, I presume, rather than solar panels, solar roof tiles. Then you do little bits that click onto all of them, wouldn't if one of them failed, and then you'd have an entire roof full of solar panels. And you just charge your house and your car. Brilliant. Well, there you go. Lee Westcott. He says self-driving vehicles will never have the personal touch on a special delivery. It's true. Sometimes you want the package. There you go, madam. All delivered, all lovely and safe. Computer giving it, maybe not the same thing. Godzilla's. He said it can't be done. He says there's some way. This is the old idea of self-driving vehicles, and if there's some way of directing them on the site they go to, like getting a cab and pointing it in the right direction, then it fails, and it fails to back into a bay, or telling it after the fact that it needs to go on bay 65, not bay 11, because you changed your mind. He said, from experience of being a test driver at Myra, doing the endurance test on a Nissan Leaf and reporting back to the Pro Pilot system they have, wait until it snows, and it all turns rapidly bad. Spray doesn't help either. Assumed speed limits and various speed limits and motorways are a barrel of fun. He says he still goes a bit nervous on country lanes and sharp turns, regardless of what vehicle I am. So wouldn't stress too much about the idea of driverless trucks yet. He said they could do base to base, assuming a special entry and exit was set up for the loading bay. Beyond this, they're useless. Oh, and thanks for putting me straight on the efficiency of EVs. Well, hopefully I've been put straight on the efficiency of EVs. And then, but no, he's right. It would only be base to base. Literally, if it was shuttle runs between Milton Keynes and Durham, but when they came off the motorway, they came on the motorway, straight up there. But then what happens when, oh no, motorway's shut. There's been a bridge strike, oil everywhere. We shut all three lanes, it's diverted off. You're screwed. It will come. I mean, all these things will come. Whether they'll come in my lifetime, I doubt it. Well, they'll come in my child's lifetime, almost certainly. But it's not something I'm going to worry about too much. The urban trucker who I've been speaking to this week, hello mate, how you doing, mate? He said, don't worry about autonomous trucks taking over the industry. All you need to do is drive around Milton Keynes, look at the funny little Amazon things that look like the kids show driving around. He says, I think that it shows they're a long way off being the reality at the moment, but I'm sure time and technology, autonomous trucks, well, yeah, basically they'll come in the end, won't they, really? He said the new Scanias have some sort of eye monitoring system that gives you vision attention warning on the dash. On the driver who passed his test and then shouted, but because he got shouted at going through the 7.5 weight ton limit. He says, let me guess, was it one of the wonderful people in Tottenham? Yes, it was. That's what my mate Brendan said. It was a guy who passed his test, all happy passed his test, coming back from the test centre to base, which you have to drive. The base is stuck inside. You can't actually drive to my base without driving through a 7.5 ton zone. Every single road that leads into it is 7.5 tons, except for access, and there's Arctics parked up there. So we have to go through one of these entrance points just to get to the zone. So we are allowed, I believe. Well, we must be, because otherwise they wouldn't give us operators licenses for where we base, would they really? But yes, it was. One of the nice people from Tottenham screaming yes. Aaron 80s and family said all this technology There will be jobs for no one. Hopefully not in my lifetime. Aaron, it's funny you should say that. Wouldn't it? It would make an interesting story of the future, wouldn't it, really? Where there were no jobs for anybody because computers had taken over. And what if someone had actually engineered it that way? And who could do something about it? Maybe a bunch of geriatric people, like 50-year-old guys, who suddenly got superhero powers. And there would be sort of villains and evil lairs and sort of action and comedy. And wouldn't that make a great story? This has all your makings of a lucky day. Finish my book. If anybody else has been noticing in the top when I finish, I finished it 3 weeks ago. Yeah, if anyone's noticed, the little box at the end screen has changed. This is The Unbelievables by Peter Koth, a rip-roaring roller coaster of a novel, which is available to buy on Amazon. You can either follow the link or type in The Unbelievables into Amazon, paperback or Kindle version. I'm very proud of it. I think it's great. I mean, I've written one before and it's totally different to that. The one before was kind of semi-autobiographical. Totally autobiographical. It all happened. And it was a shocker. This is just fun. I'm on the second one right now. But yeah, there you go. Unbelievables. Peter Cove. Right. Please subscribe. Domain name guy says electric vehicles, etc. Oh, I like this. There's a video online of a guy charging a Tesla with a petrol generator. Kind of defeats the object there, doesn't it? Just a little bit like. Kenneth McKenzie. He says, going by your tank. Oh, because we're on fuel now. 100 litres, 1 gallon is 4.565, something like that. Holds. He said, on average, he says he reckons you're getting 18.18 miles per gallon, which is exactly what the trip computer says. It could be worse. He said he works out about. Hang on, let me go down there. About 27p a mile. He says he reckons you can get a miles per gallon back, but 27p a mile when I'm charging between £2.50 and £3 a mile, or slightly under, I'll live. Which leads us on to fuel card prices. Yeah, I had a word with my fuel card people. I rang them up and I went, bearing in mind, you'd think it would be more of a shocker for them. I said, I've got my own YouTube channel. I'm on there every week telling people that UK Fuels are charging me through the nose. Do you want to stop doing this? And she kind of went, and she made a lame excuse. I like the lady who deals with me. She's lovely. But she went, oh, I've just checked. He said, what price are you paying? I said, I'm paying £1.10. And she said, how far are we out? I went, 7p. She went, oh. And she said, oh, I've just checked the places you're filling up. We can actually, because the way you're filling up, we can do you a better deal, £1.5. She dropped it 5p instantly. I went, don't give me the flannel, love. I know you just knocking the price up hoping I won't notice, because some people don't. I do. And then this week it coming at £1.4. But I know some of you got better. Michael Ellis, I think, I don't know if this week, like last week, 103.9 plus VAT. The Urban Trucker again, and he says, this week he's got 102 with Key Fuels. He said, when you're paying £1.10, with the VAT that works out £1.32. You'd be cheaper off actually just filling up in Tesco's and getting the club card points. I know it's convenience, isn't it? And it's you don't pay £1.10 when you're filling up on a motorway at the BP and it's easy and it's got a big pump and all that. But yeah, no, they were, and I'm just going to have to keep on top of it. But the man on the fuel cards is our mate Ian Merrick. He says, I've started this new feature in Same Day Courier, not the exchange. It's a face group called Play Your Fuel Cards Right. I love that. In honour of Bruce Forsyth. His lowest price of the win. He's picked 6 fuel cards from existing suppliers. He said Apple Green's canning it all the time. Yeah, he said there's been the same for the last 6 weeks. He's trying to negotiate a group discount, and he wanted a copy. I bet the guy wanted a copy of his accounts. And he said not that they're dodgy, but it just gets a bit painful. Would you do me a favour, Ian? If every week when you get your fuel card prices, stick it in the comments. Because I said I was going to do this a little while ago, but there's kind of enough work to be doing, to be honest with you. But if you would. And if you'd be so kind, I'm quite happy to link to any channel that's yours or throw anything your way. But I will do that. Play your fuel cards. Play your fuel cards right. Sponsored or courtesy of Ian Merrick. And I will actually do at the beginning of every Sunday Q&A a rundown of the top 6 cards and what prices they're charging, because that way all the drivers will know. And you can maybe get hold of your fuel card people and go, you do realise that your fuel cards are being, the price you're putting to me is actually now being broadcasted every week on this channel. You might want to give me the best price you can. Anything that helps any of us. And then you guys can listen to it and you can ring them up and you can go, right, I've just been watching this. I know for a fact that you're charging other people £1.2. Why are you charging me £1.5? And they've got nowhere to go. It's basically freedom of information. If you'd be so kind, I would appreciate it, mate. If not, I understand, no problem. We'll just kick along as we are. But in the meantime, thanks for all the comments anyway, like, you know. So, swerved the bullet with the taco there. Theoretically, on my planning, I should have been able to do it. You kind of think, well, you are supposed to plan for like my transport agency says plan for a 7-hour day, because a 7-hour day turns into like a 9-hour day really quickly, but not normally. And it was just chaos. Literally, I think it took me, I barely got back to base. I said I swerved the bullet. The truth is, I got back to base with 3 minutes left on my clock. And originally when I started, when I was making that video, it said I had half an hour clear. And it just quit clocking down and down, and oh, way more time has been added. More time has been added. I made it, but only just. But yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is, I will do one. There we go. I've got my pen with me because I wrote it down on a piece of paper last time. What to do? Yeah, I've written out what to do if we run out of hours. By the way, if I haven't answered any of your questions, I think I said this last week, it's because I lost my piece of paper with all the questions on. So if I haven't answered your question, please stick it in the comments. If you need a video, I'll do one for you, no problem. So, swerve the bullet. Caddy McGear says, start calling you Keanu Reeves. Should I take the red pill or the blue pill? What's that? Like his coat. There's a great coat in there. Long. It's cool. London Creative. Oh yeah, this is Nick, who is accidental. I've got myself one of these. Where's it gone? I was doing some videos. I've been trying to work it out at the moment. I've got one of these. This is a tiny, it's like the size of 2 matchboxes. It's an Osmo Action, and it means that I can now record from 2 different locations. But I've just tried to put all the videos onto my computer. It's only got 128 gig memory stick on it, and it says that it's got too much memory on it. But the camera's telling me I've got 6 hours left to film. So somewhere along the line, something is going wrong, and the computer's trying to copy the files over twice or something like that. So if anyone understands these things and can tell me what I'm doing wrong about trying to get the video from this onto my computer without it thinking it needs more memory than deep thought, please let me know. He says, Ali's got a leak in the roof, a few drops of water falling through the video. I think that's because I had the window slightly open. No, she's watertight, she's lovely. Van on the Run says, sounds like a close shave. This is one of the things that bothers me about going the truck route. It's very rigid regarding work hours, getting stuck away from home. And this is why on a Friday you don't really want to go too far. And I'll be honest, if I had got stuck out, there are various different options. I'm going to do one on what to do if you get stuck out. It sounds like a nightmare. Which is what I try and do is on a Monday I try and ease into it gently, maybe. Sometimes I get a big job. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, go for it like crazy. Friday, have an easy day. If I can hit my target, I try to hit my target by, drop off or first thing on Friday morning. And then I think, well, everything I get after this is bunts. So if there's a job going here, there and everywhere, a million miles, I just don't do them. If I can get a little one, brilliant, I'll go home. But this one, so that was the plan. Get the job early, go all the way down to Poole, got my day's money in Poole, just go home. And then when Southampton and Milton Keynes picked up, I thought, that's paying me to drive home. But then everything ground to a halt. So, and it kind of happens sometimes. You can't odds, you can't odds it. Your enemy is traffic jams. Because traffic jams, you're doing 5 miles an hour. But you're still clocking up driving time per minute. If you were totally stationary, you'd be on hammers. So, yeah, it's a shocker. Martin Bonev says, Friday traffic was a nightmare. Google Maps shows more crashes than cars on the road. It was a shocker. It really was a shocker. Right, so, miscellaneous domain name guy. He says, the most practical 7.5 tonne is the Mitsubishi curtain-side or flatbed, as it has a better payload, as the 7.5 tonne flatbed only weighs about 3.3 tonne-ish. They're very uncomfortable to drive, but they're handy in narrow lanes where a DAF can't fit. Yeah, I get that. Like I say, I'd want a lorry that's a lorry because I want space in the cab, because I don't want to drive for 10 hours, drive a truck and be uncomfortable. The other one is I've had it before where I've rung them up and I said I'm like a 7.5 tonne, and they say, yeah, but are you really a 7.5 tonne? how big's your bed? I said, I've got a 6 metre bed. He said, the amount of phone calls I've had so far today where everyone's ringing up with a 4.8 metre bed because they've got the scaled down version of a 7.5 tonne. So I believe, you know, your biggest advantage lies on the capacity to carry. The amount of times where I get it because I get a job because it's high clearance through the side or because it's long. I had some pipes on. Oh, you'll see on the video. Those 6 metres long, they went bulkhead to the door. That's the only way. They didn't weigh much, but you needed space to get. You needed the length to get them on, like, you know. So I like Alice. She's cool. Oh, here we go. You went on the wrong bit. Dylan Martez says, morning Pete, love the videos. What are the rough prices you would give end user customers, long wheelbase? I would say anything you can. You charge the best you can. When I picked up from where my wife works, we were charging, and we put on 50%. I think actually we put on 100% on some jobs. So, you know, if the job's costing us 80 quid to get it off, we were invoicing them £160. My wife said that's half what we were paying, and she said, and what we were paying is half what we were originally paying from another firm. So there is a firm out there that on 80 miles was charging them something like nearly 500 quid. And they were paying it. And if they're daft enough to pay it, take their money. I call it stupid tax. Just take their money. But normally I would say 50. So if the job's, say you can get the job off for 80 quid, or you think the job on the exchange will be worth 80 quid, I would charge them between 120 and 160. Double money is lovely, but you might want to stay competitive, so 50% is enough. That's my opinion, and it is only my opinion. Oh, we got the van on the run. Give me his fuel card, but I put the wrong places. Cheers, bud. Mujad Salim Kabed says he likes to watch the videos, but I barely understand because you speak very fast. For a foreigner, it's hard for me to understand you. Very much appreciated your time to dedicate to inform me. That's fine, my friend. Jason Burke has the answer. If the thing about me is, I can speak properly. They used to call it RP, which stands for Renounced Pronunciation, and it was to do with a dialect triangle between Oxford, Cambridge and Uxbridge, and it was to do with the way that the people used to speak on the BBC back in the day. And when I was a kid, growing up with the family market traders, my mum said, speak properly, pronounce your T's. I used to get that all the time, pronounce your T's. From my dad, he was going, pronounce your T's. And then, of course, after 25 years as a London street market trader, it's all gone sideways. So, but the thing is, yeah, this is all it, really. This is kind of how I talk, and this is part of the character. But as Jason Burke has the answer, he says, if you click on the subtitles box, bottom right of the video, it comes up with subtitles. Whether they're accurate or not, I don't know. But there you go. So you can watch them with the sound down now. Stop annoying the missus when you're watching it in bed. Hey, Daniel, superhero transport manager. Steve Campbell. He says, regarding strapping pallets, if the pallet's going to go over, it's going to go over from the top first, which is where the strap is holding the load and pushing down from the top to the floor. So if driving gently and sufficiently wrapped, it won't fall. However, sometimes pallets move if they're badly wrapped. What I do if I have to load on my own is I run the strap from the tie down point along the floor to the base of the pallet, feed the strap into the base of the pallet, around the centre tube, and then strap over. Load and repeat on the other side. So you must have some system of going from the bottom up, round, up and down. There are always ways around it. If you think the pallet's unstable, I found the best way to do it is to strap it round and then strap it over. And if it's really unstable, wrap it round a lot. And if it's more than one of them, try and wrap them round together. To wrap them round in a clump. So we've got 4 or 5. When I had that one when I was moving those metal filings, they were really badly wrapped. I just got straps and went all the way round horizontally, and once it had become one rock hard clump all the way on horizontal, then over again over the top. 3 or 4, with as many straps as possible, just to keep it as rock solid as you can. I think if in doubt, belts and braces. Put on as many as you possibly can. And it's probably something I'll probably still get it wrong, but see how we go with that. Steve R, he says, Pete, the TomTom, we've got a new truck sat nav out, not the 6250 now, professional. The new one is called, I think it's TomTom Go Expert. It's just been released. I may treat myself. I'm kind of doing all right at the moment. Road Lords, I tried it again and it was doing great, and then every time I try to use this week, it just kicks me out. Shows me the destination, shows me the route, I press go, and it takes me back to the home screen of my phone. And I can't have a sat-nav that's going to kick me out. And the other one, the XPO or whatever it is, the XPOG or the Jim or whatever it is, was just really clunky. It's just not nice to operate. It's painful, the menus are not nice. So I might treat myself to a decent one. I don't necessarily know, like with the camera, the Osmo thing, the Osmo Action, I could have got a GoPro. This is £100 cheaper than the GoPro, but this is 2 years old. The GoPro's brand new, the GoPro 9. But I was reading the reviews, and so many of them were saying, yeah, the screen at the back, the touch screen's really unresponsive. It's horrible, and sometimes it decides not to record. I thought, why am I going to pay £100 extra for a camera where the screen isn't very good? The new one does 5K. Mine only does 4K. Why do I need 5K? Apparently it's handy for zooming in. So if you do a shot and there's a fork truck driver in the distance, you can get home, you can speed it up and then, expand it. Fork truck driver's clear as day there. So I can live without that. And it's taking up memory. I've still got some memory things, so I'll get to the bottom of it, I'm sure. Chris C. He says, I've just been through Bath and forgot about the clean air zone. It wasn't well signposted, and I only knew where it was when I stopped at some lights. There's a tiny sign, this is just annoying this. There's a tiny sign about another road down the road saying I was leaving. Could have been worse, at least it's only £9, not £100 like London. So that's if you drive in. It costs you £9. I don't know what it's got. Is that in a truck or a van? But that must be in a truck. It's £100 in a van. I know what the fine is though. And yeah, it's a bit annoying if they don't signpost it. But he also says, I don't know if it's there yet, but Google has said they're putting something in maps to avoid clean air zones. So when that does, if anyone knows of any of the sat-navs that pick up on avoiding the LEZs, Birmingham, Bath, London, all that kind of stuff, because the ULEZ is on it, on Waze and all that, but the LEZ isn't at the moment. But if any ever does come up and anyone clocks it, please put a message in the comments and I'll pass it on. Neptune Courier. He loves the channel, thank you. He says, do you know why some loads don't appear? I'm going to just start a video on that. He said, do you know why some loads don't appear on the driver app, but they do on the PC version? So I was parked in Newbury and my app showed one load in Stratford. Stratford. It's the BBC again, Stratford. And one at my home location. The Stratford loads said the notification during the desktop versions set to my location Newbury, it showed 5 loads. And this is why I always said I did a video on saying that you can go on the desktop, the mobile version, the desktop on your mobile. Although I've done this recently, because at first it was very frustrating because I was looking on the mobile version and loads weren't coming up, and then when on the desktop version they did. That stopped happening. But yeah, we found it very frustrating when we tried to do that Soppy Vango thing that went terribly wrong. We had drivers saying that they didn't have any loads, and then we're looking on the computer and saying there's 5 loads around them. And we'd spoke to the exchange and go, we can't understand why these loads are not coming up on the phone, but they are coming up on the computer. The exchange just denied it. So it's not true. But no, it is true because we're looking at it right now. No, it's not true. So, but I will do a video on that one. I think you sort of try and clear that one up. That'd be good for people. Steve, anyone know about running in Europe? Anyone got a link to the platform mentioned here? One of you guys did say about the platform. Can't remember what it's called because I can't run in Europe because I'm on a standard national. But whoever did, if you can put a link up to the jobs that are coming up, I can't remember what it was called. It did have a name for it. Put the link. Steve can follow the link. Everyone's a winner. Kenneth McKenzie. He says, he's been watching the videos, picking it up. He said, here's a laugh for you. He says, I'm actually to blame for something. He said, he had to set up as a limited company. There's truth. He had to set up as a limited company as factoring companies will not provide the service to me unless it became a limited company. So he went through the registration process. You sort of remember 1 or 2 references regarding a certain name in your vlogs. And it's a name that nearly everyone's heard of, so I mentioned you as MI5 Couriers Limited. He says, I get a knock on the door by the actual MI5 saying, hey, what do you think you're playing at? Really? Oh, wow. He said, I blame you, you can. Send them round here. And I go, what? What, you're not allowed to say MI5? You know the actual building in London, the one over Vauxhall Bridge, as you go over the bridge? It's there. It's huge, MI5. Nowhere on the building does it say MI5. It's got gold plates. This is something or other. Everybody knows knows it's MI5, except for my mother, who one day when we was going Vauxhall Bridge, and she pointed out a large building to me and my dad, who was on our way to a 9 Hours Market, and I went, you know what that building is? MFI. Thanks, Mum. Right. Yeah, sorry about that, Ken. Sitting around to me. Dave Park says he likes the videos. Would it be possible to give advice for young transport managers? Quite frankly, no, because I don't know anything. But what I will do is I'll get a hold of Daniel and ask him any tips or hints or anything that he can do. I'll write them down and I'll do a video. So Daniel, if you're listening, he does watch, Daniel Greenberg, Superhero Transport Manager, can you please get together a list of hints and tips that would help young and up and coming transport managers, and I can stick them on a channel. Thank you very much. John Gunn. Like the videos, mate, and always helpful. Thank you, no problem. A couple of questions, if I may. Pros and cons of getting a van sign written. I've done that video twice because I did it and then did it again and didn't realise I'd done it. But we'll do a link to that one for you, mate. And he said, I'm thinking advertising versus potential accident poaching, etc. Yeah, that's kind of what it's all about. And when getting around London, how much of a headache is it? I've been putting off jobs to London as it seems a complete nightmare. I'm a multi-dropper and looking to get away. So yeah. So there's London and London, isn't there? There's Soho, and then there's Hounslow, and then there's Harrow, if you want to class it, or Barnet. It's London and London. On the whole, it is a headache, but it's not a massive headache. I would quote more money on the job because you guarantee it's going to take you a lot longer. If you're going to go from North London to South London, it might only be 4 miles. It might take you 2 hours because it just does. It just moves slowly. It is a headache. If you get enough money, it didn't stop me running in London. If I got the right price on the job, I'd still do it. But I can't run anymore because of the LEZ. Planet Grok says, alright mate, quick one. Do the CX require full limited company registration for Company's House, or can you just start off as a sole trader plus van insurance, see how things go? I haven't found anything concrete one way or another. I recommend that you don't get limited when you start with a CX, because if you get limited, they will say you're a company and they will try and sell you a bigger package. You want to go in, I'm just a guy with a van, sole trader, I want the cheapest package possible. If it works out for you, you can always upgrade it later. If it doesn't work out for you, then you haven't lost so much money. They'll always clock the money up. If you say, I want more, I'm going to pay you extra, they'll say thanks. If you buy the top package and go, I don't need this, you're kind of under contract. It's like with your phone. I've got the super duper phone, I've got the expensive monthly contract, now I want to go for the cheaper version. Well, you've got the big phone, haven't you? So you pay for it. But no, I honestly start with the most basic package you possibly can. I had another guy ring me during the week, and him and his brother were starting to think, they were going to join a CX at the same time, and he said what to do. And I said, well, if you're going to join at the same time, don't join at exactly the same time. If one of you joins, and then the other one joins a week later, he can phone up and he can say, my brother's recommended me, and his brother will get a free month. I never get a free month. I don't know how many people have joined because of me. I don't get anything free. But you guys can. And if you can, when you ring up, mention my name, say Pete says he would like my free month, please. They'll give it to you or they won't. I won't get it. Oh, was that it? And finally, that's it. Well, in conclusion, Steve Campbell, who put the first comment in, I do that, I try and get that. Sometimes I watch a guy called Jonathan Pye, I think he's brilliant, he's hilarious. And sometimes, because the phone pings up, you can just press play. Well, no, you can't do it. If I'm sitting there looking for a job in a lay-by or something like that, and it pings up, and you go, I'm sometimes like the 7th person to watch his video, and he's got like 1.5 million subscribers or something daft. And he says, first person to comment, what do I win? Steve, you win a copy of my book. This cost me money. It's comical, really. I spent 2 years writing it, and now if I want a copy, I have to buy it because Amazon print them. They've got a very clever printing machine. They just print whatever someone orders. The next book that comes in might be Pride and Prejudice, and they'll print that one off. And then the next one might be Great Expectations, and this machine just prints them off one at a time, But it cost me the bargain price of a tenner, of which I get about, I don't know what I get off it. It's £1.50 or £3. I don't get a load. But if you want, I will buy a copy.
This is a one-time only. No one else gets this. You are the guys who got to pay. But if you send me your details, you've been a kind commenter all over the years. I'll stick it in a jiffy bag and I'll send you it. Let me know what you think. So that's it. It's only Q&A for another week. I've got a load to get off on Monday morning because I didn't get up to Milton Keynes because of the horrible rain. So but it's Father's Day tomorrow anyway, so I might have a little. I absolutely hammered through it last week. I've done videos on this new thing that are on a computer that I've got to put on, and I've got one with a helicopter, and it's all crazy in the house anyway. But I will get round to it. And like I say, any other questions that I've missed, please leave them in the comments, and I'll do you videos. And in the meantime, take care, take money.